I thought you all already chose sides last week, but I'll tell you what. Next season, how about we bring Tammy up here? How about we bring the big-titted woman that Eugene used to date, and let's bring the woman that Curtis was running around airports with, and then we can all choose sides. How about that? What's up, everybody? It's your girl Bonnie Scotch. Thank you so much for tuning into my video today. I wanted to bring you a review for Married to Medicine season 11 episode 15. Y'all, I'm so glad this season is over. Release me. I've had enough.
I am free. Praise the Lord, I'm free. No longer bound. No more chains holding me. My soul is resting. It's just a blessing. Praise the Lord. Hallelujah. I am free. Yes.
It felt really cumbersome. The most interesting part of this season was Gregory versus King. Other than that, the whole season was a wash for me. Anyway, y'all, we start this episode with Toya and two event planners. Now, I should mention this too. The beginning has kind of this Bridgerton style narration. They're just trying to wrap a bow, you know, just close this season out with a nice little bow. And she's got this Bridgerton voice and she's narrating the story this way. I can't do it. I didn't practice it. Maybe if I practice it, I could get it down. But, you know, it's that kind of business going on. So, in any case, we start the episode with Toya and these two event planners. She is planning a Bridgerton party. It's a play on Bridgerton and the Gilded Age, but she is calling it Georgeton, which I thought is cute. Now, a lot of people have watched the show Bridgerton by Shonda Rhimes. I personally have never watched it, but I have watched the Gilded Age that comes on HBO Max, and I absolutely love the Gilded Age, okay? Now, Toya wants candles. She wants a champagne toast. She wants a horse and buggy. She wants a roasted pig, and she wants Red Lobster Cheddar Bay biscuits. As a person who loves Red Lobster Cheddar Bay biscuits, I can't even say that I'm mad at that decision. Does it go? Absolutely not. No, but this is her party and she can have biscuits if she wants to. Next up, we have Gregory and Sweet Tea meeting up for lunch. Gregory says, "I've been so hurt by this group lately, man. I don't even know what to do." Nobody cares about your hurt feelings, pipsqueak. Sweet Tea says that she feels like she's being iced out of the group and that she is being treated unfairly. I'm just really curious as to what Sweet Tea's thought process was coming onto this show. You thought you were going to move into Quad's house, marry her ex-husband, and infiltrate her friend group?
You know, but oh Lord, I can't take it.
I feel like Sweet Tea lives, I feel like she exists in an alternate universe similar to Greg. They're both a little bit far out for me. She says that she's not going to beg to be a part of this group. Nobody was asking you to beg. Toya simply asked you, would you like to be a part of this friend group, and you defaulted to Gregory. So her asking you what you want to do is her asking you to beg. I understand that everybody's comprehension is different, but I'm just not understanding how she filtered that into her mind as Toya asking her to beg. Gregory says that he's going to try to trust the group to do the right thing and how they keep trying to get him to drop the charges. So you want to send a black man to jail who never even touched you. And you don't see how you're being unreasonable in the situation. Greg is a straight up narcissist, taking absolutely no responsibility for the part that you played in all of this, but you're willing to take a back seat and say, oh, the guys are going to fix it. I'm going to let the guys take care of it. The guys didn't start this. It was you. Hold on, let me put on some lip gloss. I feel like Gregory is jealous of King. He doesn't like that the men have taken a liking to King. the audience in general has taken a liking to King. Y'all, why did Toya think that Bridgerton was a real place? I don't even watch Bridgerton, and I'm clear that it is based on fiction. I know that it came from the mind of Shonda Rhimes. Eugene is saying in their confessional together that black people didn't have that kind of money at that time. Not at large, but I'm learning that there were prominent black people of that time. I was looking at some behind the scenes footage of the costuming for Gilded Age. I love behind the scenes stuff. Like, if there's a show that I like, I love director's cuts. I love, when the actors are talking about their scenes or they're talking about the characters or whatever. I love when the costume designers and the set designers, they put their 2 cents in. I love all of that kind of carrying on. But anyway, I was listening to the costumer. I'm going to try to find it on TikTok to see what she was saying. But she was saying that there were prominent black people from that time. And though it was very hard to find evidence of them, they were able to find some things and pull a little bit from that.
Peggy is an incredibly interesting character in the Gilded Age. She's part of the black elite of the period, which was quite a fascinating process to discover. There's not that much of visual documentation, but there's a lot of descriptions. And we, in the collaboration with the historians who are working with us on the Gilded Age, discovered written materials that were describing the styles and principles of what the black elite was wearing at that period. Definitely had to draw some conclusions from those descriptions and use some speculation of what it was. We did manage to find a few photographs which were highly inspiring. For Peggy, I used very much the historical research to draw the inspiration for creating Peggy and her family.
So I really did appreciate that. Y'all check out Gilded Age if you haven't. I think that Gilded Age is loosely based on historical events. It's fictionalized, but it's loosely based. So y'all check it out and let me know what you think, okay? But yeah, I said all of that to say Toya was right in this instance. Toya decided that she is going to designate a time for everybody to come between 8 and 9. The Luncfords can mingle with the guests. The fact that the Luncfords even agreed to this should let y'all know that some people would really just go for anything. Because imagine me renting out some Victorian style costume to come to a party for 1 hour. And then I gotta leave before I get a little piece of something to eat. Before the grand ceremony where everybody walks the catwalk and it's the main event. Bitch, please. I love to dress up. I love to party. I love a themed party. So you're telling me that I can only come for an hour? Bitch, I'm not coming. Everybody have fun. Girl. Listen. I don't know. I ain't putting all that shit on to come for an hour. But that's just me. My pride and my dignity is just set up a completely different way. We have everybody arriving for the ball. And I think for the most part, everybody looks nice. Simone does look like she is going to a 2006 prom. Contessa's cape is hanging off her neck. You know, something about Contessa's always going to be a mess. Scott, that wig was a motherfucking fool. Sweet Tea and Gregory show up. The shoes that Sweet Tea had on her feet, y'all. You know them little white slingbacks that you get from TJ Maxx to bop around in the summer? That's what she had on. That's what she dug out the back of her closet. Now, later on in the episode, I'm looking at her full body confessional and I realize it's the same TJ Maxx slingbacks that she has on in the confessional that she pulled out the closet for the Bridgerton party.
No, ma'am. No, ma'am. No, ma'am. No, ma'am.
So now we have the Georgeton papers, right? This is like a pamphlet that is printed out and it was handed out to all of the guests at the party. Sweet Tea was the culprit behind this. So Sweet Tea wrote a bunch of shit in this little newspaper. She talked shit about Heavenly. She talked shit about Curtis, Quad, and King. Mentioned that Curtis had his hands up on Heavenly's hip. Now, let me tell y'all something. The hip is a very intimate place. I don't want some random man. I don't want somebody else's husband, especially somebody else's man, putting their hand on my hip. There's no reason to have your hand on my hip if you're not my man or you're not my friend. And there's a limit to the friendship thing because it's like if you're somebody else's man, don't put your hand on my hip. Hello? Curtis is a very handsy person. Now, remember some years ago when they were on another couples trip and Curtis aggressively pulled Toya onto his lap?
Trying hard, Toya. Sit your ass
See what
down.
I'm saying? He failed the test. He's failing the test. Eugene, he two-handed.
I know. I took it as a joke.
Now, the thing that gagged me was how long Toya sat there. Curtis gagged me with pulling her down because I'm like, how do you do that? Number one, and you're married, but how do you do it in front of the group and in front of somebody's husband? That goes into the world, into the realm of SH. Don't pull me on your lap. You pulling me on your lap, that means that you are my man or you trying to be my man. Anyway, Jackie ripped up that paper. Jackie gave Sweet Tea. Now, Sweet Tea, I don't want to hear shit about, oh, these ladies are mean to me. I don't want to hear that because you stay picking with them. You got invited to this party for an hour. You take the time to write this blurb for this pamphlet that nobody cares about, that you got ripped up in your face. You did that. You did it to yourself. You thought you were going to eat that. You thought you were going to break up the scene with that shit. And it was very corny. Nobody was here for it. Gregory is talking to the guys. He's saying, well, I'm not willing to be disrespected, so I'm going to let you guys handle it. So Gregory just wants them to mediate the situation. He doesn't want to have any hands-on involvement in a situation that he absolutely provoked. Then we have Contessa and Mimi saying goodbye to Sweet Tea. By the way, whenever Sweet Tea and Gregory arrived, did y'all peep how Mimi was like, here we go with this messy, messy two-step. Now, I thought that Sweet Tea and Mimi were friends. Now, Mimi, girl, we've been jumping off in your ass all season about, you know, the placement, the timing of the things that you say. That was out of order. Did y'all peep how Sweet Tea is telling Contessa, well, you know, we would have stayed. Girl, not you getting kicked out of a party and you talking about how you wanted to stay. Once again, no pride to be found, no dignity. Just standing around the party, looking and sounding goofy and crazy. Heavenly arrives with her undergarment showing, absolutely a mess. Now, I understand the character she was referencing. I think her name is Queen Charlotte. But every time I've seen Queen Charlotte, now once again, I don't watch Bridgerton, but I've seen the promo. Queen Charlotte's hair is some of the fiercest hair that I've ever seen. I mean, that shit is immaculately laid. Queen Charlotte has it together. So I see what she was channeling, but she really didn't pull it off. I wish that the fro was bigger, rounder. I wish it had more volume because the dress had a lot of volume and the silhouette of everything together, it just seemed like it was a little bit out of proportion. Now we have this lady named Felicia who was the MC. Baby, when I tell you Miss Felicia had that voice down when she was announcing the royal court, I really liked the way she was emceeing that thing. She did her thing. Yeah, we're at the main event. Everybody, you know, they put that shit on. They want to strut the runway. They're coming down the steps. It is really well done. Shout out to the harpist. Shout out to the ballerina that I saw. Shout out to the, you know, the spit roasted pig. Toya really did a good job putting this thing together. So shout out to her event planners. By the way, what was going on with Toya's wig? I didn't really care for that. So Quad and King show up. The ladies are letting him know that they support him and that he has been nothing but a gentleman. We have Eugene standing at the top of the steps talking about how much he appreciates Toya on their anniversary. Toya said, you know, you made me feel like I was smart. Yeah, I can tell that Eugene has done that for Toya because Toya often doesn't make a lot of sense, but she says things with so much confidence. She says things like it's just factual and it's just like this alternate reality, this alternate universe that she lives in. So listen, it's ideal, I think, for a woman to have a man like that. And I ain't even mad at you, Toya. So good for you, girl. Then in the confessional, he's complimenting her on her motherhood and she shuts him down immediately. She's like, tell me that later. Like, we don't need a provoked moment from you. And I'm like, damn, Toya, the man can't even say that he appreciates you as a mother without you shutting him down. Like, it's just so embarrassing. I always felt like this. Toya does love Eugene, but I don't feel like she likes him. Simone is asking Quad, do you think there's a world where you can coexist? Referring to Gregory and Sweet Tea. Quad says absolutely not. Simone, I have a question for you. Do you think there's a world where you and Tammy can coexist? Quickly. So why should Quad have to coexist with a man who dragged her down the steps? Why should Quad have to coexist with a man who was tearing the TV off the wall and got in the car with her and hit the gas, talking about I'll kill us both? Quickly. Simone? I'm just so sick of her shit, for real. Curtis is letting all the guys know that they're going to moderate this conversation between King and Greg. King says that he is open to it. And then Toya is saying to Quad, you're asking us to choose between you and Letitia. But Toya, I thought that y'all already chose Quad like an episode or two ago. So I'm not really understanding, like, why are we going backwards? Now that I think about it, remember that conversation that Eugene and Toya were having when Eugene was like, oh, we weren't even friends with Quad last year? I bet that's what changed Toya's simple ass mind. Quad doesn't want anything to do with these motherfuckers because she feels like it puts her in a cumbersome situation, her and her man. Now, I think that while King is kind of off to the side with the gentleman having a conversation, that he is softened to the idea of being around the group. But I think that he is standing 10 toes down with Quad in general. And didn't Jackie and Heavenly say the other day, don't bring any exes around me? I'm not understanding what's happening here. Y'all don't even like Letitia. And let Simone tell it, she only hung out with Greg because Quad gave her ass to kiss over the years. Simone's saying we're going back to a fractured group. Simone, shut up. Then everybody heads to the dance floor, and this is pretty much where the season ends. We get a preview for the reunion. Simone, I'm going to have to jump off in your ass next week, or whenever it is you start cutting up with Quad, talking about you hung out with an abusive man because Quad did something that you didn't like. I'm going to have a piece for you, Miss Thing. Don't you even worry about it. But that was the episode, y'all. Go ahead and get down in the comments with me. Let me know how you felt about this episode. Let me know how you felt about the season overall. Do we want some fresh blood on this show? Do we want some new faces? I feel like Jackie can go and we can bring in somebody else new. I don't feel like Jackie is really needed here. Something has to give. Something has to change within this group. Gregory and Sweet Tea absolutely do not need to come back, because how is it that Gregory can provoke a situation and then put a halt on production because he wants to press charges because nobody touched him? Once again, y'all, get down in the comments with me. You know I want to hear from you. Hit the like button if you haven't already. Hit subscribe. Hit the notification bell so you know when I'm posting. And I'll see y'all for the next one. Peace.
Come on. It's me, Al Grande, or call me Papi Chulito. Yo tengo mucho loving for you mommies if you legal. For honeys, nothing equal to the way I tap that spot. Get your cat hot, guess what? You hit the jackpot. Candlelight dinners for you winners. See, I'm like Don Juan, beat me, sweetie. I get in ya. Sugar, I'ma put you in a beautiful